we're going to learn how to do a proper standing wrap on a horse. First of all, before you start, you want to make sure you have all your materials gathered, that you have a safe place to work. If you're under 18, make sure you have supervision. Make sure you're working on a horse you're comfortable with and one who's comfortable around you. This horse is comfortable being tied. She's tied with a quick release knot, and she's used to having people work on her legs. Make sure you're dressed in appropriate safety gear, you're wearing good boots to protect your feet. Whenever you're working around a horse's legs, make sure you are in a crouched position so you can stand up and move away quickly if necessary. You never want to be kneeling underneath a horse. It could take you too long to get out of the way. Alright, we're going to get started here. First of all, you probably want to be using a cotton quilt to pad your horse's leg. Quilts are easy and inexpensive to find, and they're going to protect your horse's leg pretty well. You can double them up if you need to. I'm going to be using some cotton sheeting today, because that's what I have available. So clean cotton sheeting is not going to look quite as pretty as a quilt will, but it's going to be quality nonetheless, good padding. So we're going to start taking that away. See that, lady? And we're going to take that quilt, we're going to line the edge of it on the inside of her leg. We're going to be in front of her tendons and behind the bone, so make sure you've got that in a secure place here. We're going to lay that nice and flat. Your quilt should be, for the front legs, between 12 and 14 inches. The back legs, they might be a little bit longer. Then we're going to wrap that quilt forward towards her cannon bone, towards her head. Wrap it around the back of her leg. And make sure we keep it nice and snug. And then bring it around till you finish the end. Then you're going to hold that secure while you reach for your standing wrap. Standing wrap is a polyester knit bandage like this. It has some stretch, but not a ton of stretch. The polyester quilt, we're going to start the same way on the inside of her leg, down at the fetlock joint. The reason we start down at the fetlock is because there's a lot of bone there. So we can wrap tightly to start, especially, without worrying about endangering, without worrying about pulling on a lot of soft tissue. So I'm going to hold that with my right hand in that same groove we started with over her fetlock joint. I'm going to pull forward towards her head, and I'm going to make a couple of wraps, keeping it nice and tight as I pass that back to myself. So. Two good wraps to secure it there, and then we're going to start wrapping up. Go slowly and make sure you're getting a nice tight smooth finish. You don't want any wrinkles, any loose ends, anything your horse could chew on or play with or get caught in and pull their bandage off. So make sure that looks good. When you finish, you want to try and have the same amount of quilt showing at the top and the bottom of your bandage. So we're going to keep going. We're pulling hard against her cannon bone, and then we're lightening up the pressure against her tendons. That protects her tendons to make sure that we don't do any damage, we don't bow a tendon from too tight of a wrap here. All the way up to just below her knee here. And you reach the velcro, and do that velcro, bring that all the way around. Always make sure you're using clean, fresh gear for every horse. Fasten that securely, take a close look, make sure everything looks good there. Then we're going to grab our masking tape. Masking tape doesn't have any stretch to it, so it's not going to hurt a horse. And it's a good way to secure your bandage. So take a wrap or two of masking tape. Good girl. Oh. Make sure that stays nice and secure. Now your edges would be a little neater with a cotton quilt rather than this raw cotton. So if I were actually going to leave this on Cleo today, I would actually trim some of these loose corners down. I would probably also use a little duct tape to cover it up, just to attach the cotton to the standing wrap itself, but not to attach to her hide. Lastly, before you're finished with any bandage, make sure that you wrap the other leg too. There's never a situation that we would want to leave Cleo with support on one leg and no support on the other. hopefully that works for you. Good luck, lots of practice, and it'll work out well for you.